Dear friends, in this video we are going to discuss about SAP Abap on Hana. That means who can learn SAP Abap on Hana or S4 Hana Abap module. In our previous videos we have discussed about why to learn this SAP Abap on Hana module, and also we have discussed about the prerequisites and basic requirements for learning this SAP Abap on Hana module. And in our previous video itself we have discussed about different basic requisites and different requirements or eligibility criteria for learning this SAP Abap on Hana module. And similarly in this video also we are going to discuss about who can learn SAP Abap on Hana, or you can be able to learn this S4 Hana Abap module. This is why, because as we have already discussed in many videos, in our previous videos, like what is the advantages of HANA database and why we need this HANA database, and what is the difference between the Oracle database and other database with SAP HANA database. The only one reason for using this SAP HANA database is that it provides more faster and more performance on the reports, and it is more flexible to handle. That is the reason why we are using this HANA database instead of other databases, and that is also one of the reason why all the companies are migrating from SAP R3, that is our traditional ECC system, into our SAP S4 HANA. This is why, because this HANA database is more faster than any databases, and this HANA database is more flexible and more faster when compared to other databases like Oracle, SQL, etc. etc. That is the reason why we are using this HANA database. And one more important point we have discussed in our previous videos. What is that? All the S4 HANA applications will run only on HANA database. What are all the different S4 HANA applications? We have discussed about many different S4 HANA applications, namely S4 HANA Simple Logistics module, S4 HANA Simple Finance module, S4 HANA Central Finance module, S4 HANA Financial Supply Chain Management module, and similarly SAP Abap on HANA, and also we have SAP BW on HANA. So all these S4 HANA applications will run only on HANA database. Remember that. Without HANA database, all the above discussed S4HANA applications will not run. So about these concepts we have discussed earlier in our videos, and also in our video, in this video, we are going to discuss very clearly about who can learn this SAP ABAP on HANA module, or who can learn this SAP S4HANA ABAP module, who can be able to implement this ABAP on HANA and other stuff. Because in our previous video itself, we have discussed very clearly about the basic requirements and prerequisites for learning this S4HANA. And now in this video, we are going to learn who can be able to learn, or who are eligible to learn this SAP ABAP on HANA module, and who can be able to implement this SAP ABAP on HANA or S4HANA ABAP successfully for the organization, and who can be able to support this S4HANA ABAP module and other details. So we can discuss one by one who can be able to learn and implement this SAP ABAP on HANA module in detail. So ABAP application developers can learn and implement this S4 HANA ABAP module, and similarly ABAP development consultants can be able to learn and implement this S4 HANA ABAP module, and also ABAP development architects who can be able to learn, who can be able to implement, who can be able to support the end-to-end S4 HANA ABAP module for any organization. So why they have given these prerequisites, and why they are given these eligibility requirements, or why they are expecting the consultants with the basic knowledge of programming is, without having strong basic programming knowledge, or without having strong database knowledge, or without having strong architecture of HANA, without having strong knowledge in architecture, SAP HANA architecture, it is very difficult for the consultants to learn, it is very difficult for the consultants to implement, it is very difficult for the consultants to design, it is very difficult for the consultants to support, and also it is very difficult for the consultants to execute the end-to-end S4 HANA ABAP application successfully for any organization. That is the reason why SAP has given some recommendations, or given some prerequisites, or expecting some eligibility criteria for learn and implement this S4 HANA ABAP module for the organization. So what are all the basic requirements? Once again, we will discuss here. All the candidates should have strong basic programming knowledge. All the candidates should have strong understanding of different databases like SQL, Oracle, and HANA. All the consultants should have strong understanding on different databases, and also they should have some strong understanding of HANA database. Then only they can be able to implement this ABAP on S4 HANA successfully for their clients, which in turn used for creating reports more fastly than any other databases. So that is the reason why SAP has given some prerequisites for learning this end-to-end S4 HANA ABAP module. So without having prior experience in programming, without having prior experience in databases, without having prior experience in HANA architecture, it is very difficult for the consultants to handle the end-to-end S4 HANA ABAP projects for the clients. So that is the reason why SAP has given many prerequisites for learning this SAP ABAP on HANA module. So in our next video, we will discuss about what are all the advantages of learning this S4 HANA ABAP module and what are all the advantages of implementing this S4 HANA ABAP module for the clients and all other stuff. So in this video, we have discussed very clearly about who can learn this SAP ABAP module, who can learn this SAP ABAP on HANA, ABAP on S4 HANA, and who can be able to implement successfully this SAP ABAP on S4 HANA module very clearly. So in our next video, we will discuss about different advantages of learning and implementing this ABAP on S4 HANA module or S4 HANA ABAP module from the consultant's point of view as well as from the company point of view and all other details. So I want to introduce myself here. I am Raja. I am having more than 20 plus years of experience in the SAP industry. I have worked as a consultant. I have worked as a practice head and also I have involved in many projects. Regarding my on-site experience, I want to explain about my on-site experience. I have more than 5 years of on-site experience in Middle East and European countries, handling Middle East and European clients, and I have also involved extensively in many implementation, many production support, many rollout and many upgrade projects for my clients. And regarding my certification areas and interests, I have done my certification in finance, handling the entire AR and AP activities. And similarly, I have done my certification in business process planning and consolidation module, which is highly useful for creating the consolidation reporting based on the FI and CO data. And also I have done my certification in SAP S4 HANA Simple Finance module, which is the combination of our ECC FI as well as our S4 HANA Simple Finance. And also I have completed my certification in S4 HANA Simple Logistics module, which is the combination of different logistics modules like materials management, sales and distribution, production planning, as well as plant maintenance and quality management module. And similarly, I have completed my certification in SAP Business and Revenue Innovation Management, which is highly used for handling the end-to-end financial accounting functionalities. And similarly, FICA, that is financial contract accounting and all other stuff. And similarly, I have completed my certification in SAP S4 HANA Central Finance, which is used for reporting. So that's all about myself. So in this video, we have clearly discussed about the many different scenarios for learning this SAP S4 HANA ABAP module, and also we have discussed about the prerequisites once again and what are all the basic requirements once again before getting into this S4 HANA ABAP module. So, and all the details we have discussed in this video are very important from the consultant's point of view, because without having strong knowledge in the programming, without having strong knowledge in the database, without having strong knowledge in understanding the architecture of HANA database, it is very difficult for the consultants to implement and support the end-to-end SAP S4 HANA ABAP module. So all the consultants are requested to be very strong in the programming knowledge, in the programming language, and similarly all the consultants are expected to be very strong in understanding different databases like Oracle, HANA or SQL and some other databases also. And similarly all the consultants are expected to be very strong in handling the HANA architecture and other stuff, then only they can be able to implement successfully the S4 HANA ABAP module for any organization. So that's all about the basic requirements and prerequisites, and also we have discussed about who can learn this S4 HANA ABAP module in detail. So in our next video, we are going to discuss about the different implementation strategies for both ECC as well as S4 HANA. So why I am telling each and every time means these methodologies are different from different for ECC, and the implementation methodologies are different for S4 HANA. We will discuss each and everything in detail in our later videos. And one more important activity I want to explain once again to you is only if the consultants are very strong in the above discussed areas, then only they can be able to implement, then only they can be able to design, then only they can be able to execute and support the end-to-end S4 HANA ABAP for any organizations successfully. So in our next video, we will discuss very clearly about the advantages of implementing S4 HANA from the company point of view, and similarly what are all the advantages after learning this S4 HANA ABAP module from the consultant's point of view. Thank you.